Does that answer your question, sir?
Yes, it does. I appreciate it.
Yeah, the biggest thing you can do is go to local churches, not even ones you're members at, and just start handing out documents that the church is 501c3 and ask the pastor if they're under FEMA control in a secret agreement, and really just breaking the whole covert operations umbrella that's over us. You break it by showing people. I mean, imagine what the church is going to think when they find out that their pastor is a spook, is a spy, is a government operative. I mean, you know, we're all living in a James Bond movie, folks. The globalists have taken their time setting this thing up.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Yeah, here's the headline. U.S. military to install global internet architecture giving a godlike view of the planet. That was reported by Wired Magazine and several other British newspapers, like the Examiner. You can go read them bragging. Everything you do, everything you buy, everything you sell, brain scanners on every street corner, then, quote, oh, if you look agitated, they're going to send out psychological police. You cannot make up how draconian, how sickening it is. And they're engineering the economy where it isn't going to be manufacturing cars, it isn't going to be manufacturing computers. Any cars or computers are going to be manufactured for them to run your life. And where the majority of new jobs will be as enforcers. So people will rationalize and join the corrupt system because that's going to be the only growth industry, the only jobs, is prisons and surveillance and micromanagement and the youth brigades and the senior corps. As the Fed said a decade ago, they're now announcing that your forced compulsory national service will be wearing uniforms, will be spying on neighbors. And going back for at least 20 years, but now they're just announcing it publicly. Cable TV workers trained to spy on citizens. This is from PrisonPlanet.com from Paul Watson, but he links to Fox 35 report, which, of course, says it's great. While they're in your house without a warrant, they're spying on everything, including anti-government literature. They're being trained according to the DHS report. They see Ron Paul stickers, you're getting reported. This is the land of the free, home of the brave. You might want to go read that article. Bright House Networks employees will watch for suspicious behavior, which, according to law enforcement, DHS guidelines includes being politically active, displaying bumper stickers, or disagreeing with the government. One of the largest cable TV companies in the United States is training its employees to look for suspicious behavior and report it to police. Of course, they have agreements where the company gets part of the fines and fees under the guise of Neighborhood Watch Initiative. Since, according to law enforcement Homeland Security guidelines, suspicious behavior includes owning guns, being politically active, and having bumper stickers on your car, the cable guy's next visit to your house may turn out to have more interesting consequences than you originally anticipated. And now that we know about this, I mean, that's why the exterminator or the lawn person, they'll start asking questions. And you'll see them when you're in your house, looking on your tables, looking around, because a lot of these people make more money off of payments they get for turning people in than they do off their job. In fact, I remember seeing 60 Minutes story, had to be 15 years ago, sitting there on a Sunday evening watching 60 Minutes. I'd go over to my grandparents sometimes and have Sunday dinner with them, and I'd go in and watch 60 Minutes with my grandfather. He liked 60 Minutes. I remember a show on there about airline ticket counter people making more money off tips than they made off their regular job. And I talk about one lady making over $100,000 a year. It was a famous case of a guy flies every year from South Carolina to Houston, and he would pay in cash because then he got a discount, but he had receipts and everything to buy part of that year's crepe myrtles and other trees. And then they would be shipped by 18-wheeler to South Carolina. And he pulled out a wad of cash to pay. They took his money, and it was asset forfeiture seizure, and that was the end of it. So this is the new America. I mean, you know, I mention this headline a lot because people don't seem to believe it. What was the exact headline? It was, scofflaws get caught when ordering pizzas, USA Today. And that was 2002. And it said what we already knew. We've already been told this by pizza company higher-level executives, mid-level executives, that the three big pizza companies, wouldn't say who, but the big three, they basically all do it now, the big ones, and talk about how they get 25 to 35% of the fines. When you call to order a pizza, you tend to give your real name, real credit card, real address. Well, guilty until proven innocent. It is then run through a private subsidiary company tied in with Rumsfeld Holdings in Dallas. This is just one hub. There's other services. And then that is instantly uploaded to law enforcement. And instead of getting a pizza, you get a SWAT team visit. And it said it's even for warrants for parking tickets. Even for warrants for speeding tickets. The most basic stuff. And a lot of times they go ahead and deliver the pizza, but then a day later the police come. Or if you got a felony, more come. See, this is a Pentagon-designed grid. And they're going to stage chem and bio attacks. They're going to blame it on terrorists. They're going to use that to hurt us into the cities in the next decade. And then they're going to release stuff that wipes out almost everybody. So I want the cops who are laughing in the military, when you're there with your family dying later, at least then some of you may be able to survive and remember who did it. And when the Rockefellers and Rothschilds and others emerge from their bunkers, there'll be no rationales, no excuses. You know who did it. You know who the enemy is. Just in case we lose this round and it really gets bad, I want to implant now in the history, in the memory, who did it. Because I know a lot of you aren't going to listen now. Down the road, I want you to pay attention. I know you're laughing. It's funny now. I understand it is to you. You're not going to read the White House science czar openly saying all this. You're going to suck your thumb. You're going to stick it in your mouth and feel good. Go home and watch some sports tonight and act tough to the neighbor. I understand you're going to strut around in front of your wife and act tough at the grocery store and impress her. I understand that. If you were a real man, you'd face history and face the scientific dictatorship we're under and wake up to that we're all in the same boat. But I know there's a good chance you're not. So at least before you die, as you're going, oh my God, Alex Jones was right, you might get your soul and heart right with God. Or some of you are going to live. Some of you will have natural immunity. And when you're dealing with the hunter-killers, the flesh-eating robots, they're going to send after you into the rebels' enclaves. Just remember, we could have stopped it all early on. And see, I know this sounds insane, but where do you think they get ideas for movies like The Matrix and movies like Terminator? It's all from Pentagon documents. And we list those. It's in my book, Descent into Tyranny. The Swords are 30 years old, already killing people in Afghanistan and Iraq. They're now about to roll out flesh-eating robots, according to Associated Press. In fact, they don't believe that. Print me the flesh-eating robot again. Just Google flesh-eating robots to be deployed. Because, see, that's how they're going to feed themselves. Hunter-killers is what they're called. And they've even got them coming out that wear camouflage uniforms and have rubber skin. Oh, like the early Terminators. Oh, I'm sorry, it was all a Pentagon plan. But see, you won't wake up to it because you watched a movie. You don't understand it's predictive programming. You don't understand the Terminators work for the bankers. The Terminators, yes, they're real. Flesh-eating Terminators. Yeah, you guys found it with your search, and then all you do is click on that article, and it'll take you to the, that's just a blog reporting on the article, then that article will lead you to the article. Flesh-eating robots feed on dead bodies. And that pulled up the Fox News headline. Biomass-eating robots is a vegetarian company, says. That's a new article about it. Oh, the flesh eatings. They did. That's the original article with the same photo of the control drone running the flesh eaters on the ground. Wow. Well, I gave that to Jacobson. He better have screenshot that for the film. Well, we have copies around here. It's in the stack. Wow, they took it down. Amazing. They had company quotes about how it eats humans. Oh, I guess that was a little much for the slaves to hear. The whole Pentagon's converting over to drone and remote control and AI aircraft, helicopters, and soldiers. Humans will just maintenance the maintenance robots that work in the robot factories, and then the next phase, there won't even be humans needed for that.